Hi, this is Just Saying, better known as Cypress Golden Bronze. How's everybody doing today? This is Saturday. Oh, this is go to the park, go to the museum, go to the movies, be with your other half or your children day. Probably going, I hope most of you are not going to shop this Christmas, right? I mean, are you aware of that? If you did not do that, then they can measure how much money goes into there. You can kind of look at the money that's put into the community from the black people, how much money we put in to other people's stuff and don't have any of our own, which helps other problems come along. You know, I've never been able to, I've always had to hustle. I used to sing outside. I made $700 a day when I did that, you know, in Chicago, Illinois, in the Gold Coast. Frank Sinatra. I had a Frank Sinatra review that I had put together and did it. And I made $700 a day, $500, $600. I made good money on my own. And they would say, well, Amber, why don't you come on and sing in the club? Well, I said, well, the club is only going to pay me $50. Why the hell would I step out from working for myself to work for you for $50? And I guess that would be a tragedy. But I love all of Minister Farrakhan's videos, and he really inspires me. Everything that he talks about, I say. Dr. Watkins he goes left with the hip-hop. It's like he really hates hip-hop. Maybe he lost a girlfriend to somebody that was a hip-hop artist or something, and I hate them, because Dr. Watkins doesn't have that swag like that. So he hates, so 50 Cent was in court about something. You know what? 50 Cent is keeping his money. People don't realize that. People say, oh, you've done bankruptcy. Yeah, I've done it. I've done bankruptcy, you know, and I got 2 more to go, because I would bankrupt every 7 years if it were to really think about it and kind of clear your record and start all over again. I'll do it. I would do it. I don't care. Even with some of your taxes can qualify for it. You know, you can do it online now. With the help of your local federal building, you know, go ahead, do it, go for it. But that's what it is. And whenever you do that, actually the person gets an opportunity to build money. So it's not a bad thing. So when I read the article, I was really quite surprised that Dr. Watkins, but every time I hear him and a number of other people talk about hip-hop music, and they don't like the music of the young people. But the young people are the voice of tomorrow. They are today. So whether you like it or not, that's not going to change anything. You know, some of the stuff, I listen to them just to be able to really hold hands with some of the young people and learn how they are, how they think, you know. And if you don't like the African American hip hop, it's probably because they're steady getting shot and killed. And one lady, I couldn't be her mother, but they said her mother just passed away. The little girl that was swung all over the classroom. And are 2 of those girls going to court? How can they throw her in court? I am just not understanding. There are some really deep stuff happening. But listen to Minister Farrakhan every time. And it does not take him long. It doesn't take him long. Minister Farrakhan, America's criminal justice system must be abolished. And you know what? He's for real. He's not kidding. No, he's not playing. If you think that he's playing, Let me try it. I'm trying to find it. Minister Farrakhan, I guess I've lost it. I guess I have lost it. Oh, here's another one. Should we love white people? I am putting this on my timeline, so you can go on the timeline and check it out. Should we love, what did Minister Farrakhan say? And Minister Farrakhan said the same thing I would say. You know, I would say the same thing. You know, we have really loved white people a little bit too much and not loving ourselves. Here's another one. America is for sale. And he's talking about land to buy. But now a question came to my mind for Minister Farrakhan, if I could ask him. I would like to ask you, I would ask him, after we buy the land, who gets the money for the land? If we get together and get money to buy land, who gets that money? Because whoever's getting that money is still in control. We might have to take it. Here's another one. We must stop trafficking and pimping women in the black community. Well, as long as there are men, that there will be that. Because men have, they're very, I've noticed some men can't date and not have sex. They don't know how to treat a woman unless every 5 minutes he's hitting on her, you know, for sex. And that's just too Hollywood to me. No, I don't think that we can go through that. But those are the 3 videos that I loved. I love Minister Farrakhan. It's just, he's my favorite out of all of them. Here's another one. What is he talking? Should black people love white people? Okay, I got that. You know, black people are geniuses. I have something on here where in Ethiopia, a church was carved from a single piece of rock. Just one rock. And if you could see this, I can't put it on the webcam, but if you could see it, it is genius. All these gifts that we have, even to fight. You know, Minister Farrakhan did mention something that sounds real familiar from something that I'm constantly talking about all the time. I'm always talking about fighting back. Don't turn the other cheek. I like it was intelligent to strike back. It's intelligence to strike back. I think that's how it goes. But guess who said that? Malcolm X. So we have the turn the other cheek. Of course, most people want to do that. You got black people with these, they think that those jobs are to an extent, and I don't want to lose my job. I don't want my kids. This other, what is his name? I have it on my timeline. Wonderful book about racism, and I gotta find it now. I must find this because it was something I wanted to bring up, and I don't write down things for these webcams. The Origins and Meaning of Racism, Andrew Hacker. Excellent. You know why he's white? I like to hear white people's viewpoints. I like to see 2 white men talk about racism. And I like the fact that Andrew Hacker was very honest. And he explains the origins and meaning of racism and clarifies the conflicting theories of equality and inferiority. And he was saying that we are inferior, that we look inferior. What made someone come to Africa and take us? Or I know part of a story that one of the classes I took said, and I don't believe everything about African history anymore, because it's just about demolished You can't even Google it. It's a lie. But he said that when they came and got us, or no, the thing to think about is how they teach other or tell other people to think about black people the same way. You know, black people, why? Because they're inferior. I don't know what inferior is, but there is a reason. Because how can you go to Africa with just a couple of white men? Even if there were 10, you could have hacked their heads off. How did they get there and do what they did and put us in this position and constantly mental everything about these white people is very controlling, and they're very cunning instantly. So you kind of wonder sometimes, inferior. But they're right, something is wrong, because when I did these all these videos about the what's his name, Obama, and I really learned what race I was in. I really did. It's bad. It's bad. It don't look good. And for someone to mistreat you in your face and still get honored. And we've been doing that. We do it with the civil rights movement. We do it with NAACP. The only real group that I can say this about something is Black Lives Matter. And I like the way they're approaching their peaceful walks and all that kind of stuff. But they're for real about what purpose they're doing that. You know. But they said black people didn't even want. Black people want to live. These are the blacks that are bad. That want to live out in the suburbs where there's quotas of black people. That's why some of that works, he said, because of quotas. And if you have a certain number of black people that can live there, that's what other black people fight to help keep it that way as well. So I don't know. It's really sad because I know there's nothing to do. You got the little girl that was thrown around. What are we sitting around doing? Really, we really let them do that. We do that. And then it's one after another. That president was not a good president. And we should tell him how we felt and how we would like to be treated. But we didn't. And when I did, I was criticized and ostracized and pushed aside. So, from family, friends, and I said, these black people, I'm not following y'all anymore. A majority of the crap that y'all talking about. The thing is, I like Minister Farrakhan though, because everything that he says, that's what I see. The same thing. So there's got to be a lot of truth to it. Black people ain't never going to come together. So it's going to be having to separate the black people as well, and some of them, and peel them out because they're no good. They're no good. You know, they'll sell their soul to be white. You know, and their children want their children out in the suburbs. Remember, I was talking about that in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I actually witnessed it in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I actually lived there. I actually went through it. And all of those light-skinned blacks, and then the dark-skinned men that were attorneys and stuff, they have Asians, something, white or something. None of their kids till this day are black. Probably the grandbabies, you know. Those are the people that set up the government the way it is in Milwaukee and made a way for Scott Walker. So Scott Walker didn't just exist and come out of nowhere. There were black people that helped him get there. Just like in everyday America. Help America. He could have, there's a whole lot that president could. I'm glad he's over. We're almost at the end of December. Yes. Oh, God, I don't care who wins because I'm not in the political scene anymore. I'm a little bit too high-strung. You know, I'll do 2,000 videos about the Republicans. I'm having fun watching it if I ever catch it. You know, it's funny. Donald Trump is funny. They're all funny. They're just real funny. It's nothing serious anymore because they know the time is nigh. Things, money of value, the money will not have any value in a minute. I mean, very close. Most of them think, oh, it's going to be another 5,000 years and we can build a house on the moon, or it's going to be another, no, it's not. It's like today. It's coming up. It's right around the corner. One little thing, boom, and it's going to be a war out here. Every day we get up. Some people ain't going to be able to go to work. Work for what? The whole system is going to be torn down and have to be rebuilt. And the people that have been taking and thieving and killing and all that, killing people, they're going to have to, they're going to suffer. They're going to, you know, they're not going to so much suffer because we're going to kill them. They're going to, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about go get guns. We don't have to. The spirit will. See, now when you take the value of money out of it, the value out of it, where they can't spend their money, the 1% don't make no difference, and they're on our level now, what they've set black people up to do forever, except for those that got an education and moved out to the suburbs and then don't even want to turn back like Obama and say nice things about people that are poorer than he is. Ferguson, but he had time to go to Newtown and Oregon and speak on Oregon. I don't know whether he went there, but he spoke on it, because I said that man just don't listen. And I know he done heard my videos. Okay? He just don't listen. He wouldn't listen anyway. And he's going to come out of there doing hip-hop songs, trying to get in good. You know, but when you do stuff like that, it just don't leave. And that was lives. Grieving mothers. You know, the wife could have started something for them. Because people said, well, why don't you, Amber? I said, well, if I had that power and money, and in the meantime, I'm going to make my webcams. Get it? Okay. Everybody, I don't even know what I look like. Oh, okay. I'm just talking to myself. I'm going to have to listen to this because I don't really like it already. I'm kind of tired this morning. You know how I got to do a walk and try to get a walk. So all I want you to do is take care and have a wonderful day, but never forget this. Never, ever turn the other cheek. Never. Ashe.